Alright, we're going to be watching RemixedNova. So we've been playing Junker Queen and D.Va on Colosseo. This is Masters 5. Hard stuck for the first time ever. Help me, please. I am going insane. I started playing when Overwatch 2 launched, and I got good pretty fast. I peaked GM5 before the reset, but now I'm hard stuck in the Masters 5 to Masters 4 range. Every time I get a win streak, my next session is nothing but losses, and it's getting to the point where I'm losing motivation to play the game because I don't know what's wrong. I feel like every match I get there's an extreme DPS diff, and I can't carry like I used to because the meta for tank is to sit and not die. Gonna attach 3 games, all losses because I have no wins on my record. Feel free to look at any of them. I really just need someone to see my gameplay and point out major flaws that I'm not seeing because of my ego. Any advice is welcome, and please be hard on me. I already know my mechanics need work. I'm a former Rhine main. So, a few thoughts here. Number one is the ranks are not the same as they were prior to the reset. I think in general, you're looking at most folks probably went down 5 ranks because everyone got compressed towards the center, right? So, you know, when I was playing tank, formerly in GM, when I was trying to climb out of that post, like immediately after the reset, I was playing against like top 500 players in like Masters 4, Masters 3. It was like kind of bonkers. And so that made it obviously dramatically more difficult in order to be able to climb. So I think that's pretty common experience for most players. It's just like you're just not going to be the same rank as you were because of the reset. So I wouldn't fret about that per se. Regarding, you know, DPS diff or whatever, I mean, I don't, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to make a difference, right? Because like you're going to have a random set of opponents, random set of teammates. If you're consistently losing, the problem is you, not your team, just by definition, because it's random. And I'm sure you understand that already from the fact that you climbed the GM previously. From watching this game, I think that there's a few things that jump out here. I think your Junker Queen play is not very polished. If I had to guess, I would assume that you probably have experience playing other shooters, like other FPS games, because your general aim, reaction speed, tracking, like stuff like that is good, right? Like you are, I think that you feel very comfortable taking those types of like fights and situations. I think that you lack the depth I would expect from somebody who plays Junker Queen, especially on a regular basis. In particular, the lots of times where you use abilities where I'm like, this is definitely not going to work, and you don't seem to realize that. And so you waste a lot of your knives, you waste a lot of your axes in particular, you waste some of your ultimates, and that's what's really kind of holding you back in that respect. I also don't think you really think through how to take the Orisa matchup, which I don't think is an easy one, but it doesn't. It feels like you are autopiloting. It feels like you have one way of playing Junker Queen, and you're going to do it whether or not it's working or not. And I think that's kind of the issue of Junker Queen. Like your Junker Queen feels very raw to me. I think your D.Va play looks better. I think you have a much better idea of what to do. I think the game flips around, starts turning around dramatically when you go D.Va. I think you just don't have enough time to be able to turn it back, and you make like a couple critical errors. I will note, this is an amazing game to play Winston on. I don't know if you play Winston, but like, wow, this game was like so good to play Winston on because they had a Tracer, Widow, Lifeweaver, Kiriko, Orisa for most of the game, and Winston is so good against that entire lineup. So obviously not like directly against the Orisa, but sorry, I had to sneeze. Okay, so let's watch through and kind of see it. I will note overarching thoughts again on Junker Queen is if you want to climb playing Junker Queen, you need to be able to look at 30 to 60 seconds of your play and be like, yeah, you're better than the opposition, right? Like, we should be able to look at this game and be like, yep, we can see how you're consistently getting value, you're dealing more damage than you're taking, you're pulling people out of position, you're able to engage in targets and get kills. That's what we need to see in order to be like, yep, you deserve to climb. If we don't see that, then you don't deserve to climb, and you are either at the same rank as everybody else, like deserving of that rank, or you're below that rank. So, let's kind of watch that and see how we feel. Alright, so we come out here. Alright, you know this is Orisa now. You missed the knife, unfortunate. Like, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but like the knife adds your sustain, it adds damage pressure to the opposing team, it potentially pulls, you know, the Orisa out of position if she doesn't use Fortify. So, you know, and like you really shouldn't be missing knives against Orisa. And that goes back to another point that you said is, I know my mechanics would need work. Well, yes, I mean, like, what do you think the difference is between you and a higher ranked tank, right? Is that they're just gonna get more value out of their mechanics than you are. It's like saying, oh, well, like I'm a GM DPS, but I could be top 100 if I just have better mechanics. Well, yeah, that's why they're top 100 because they have better mechanics. Like you can't just use that, like just hand wave that and be like, oh, that doesn't matter. Of course it matters. It's like a huge difference. Anyway, All right, so we dodge javelin here. So I think you feel okay. Now is an opportunity because she doesn't have fortify. Now the big question here, especially since you're relatively new to Overwatch, like you started in Overwatch 2, which from my perspective is new to the game, is do you understand the way that Orisa's cooldown cycles work? Right. So she has spin on a short cooldown and she has fortify on a long cooldown. So if she uses fortify and she never spins during it means she'll always have spin available after the fortify. So what you're looking to do is the way Orisa's played generally correctly is she uses spin, then fortify, then spin again. But in this particular scenario, what I've noted here is you don't seem to realize that the Orisa is going to have another spin. So I don't throw this knife right here because I'm waiting. I pressure right now while I'm shooting. I don't throw the knife because I'm thinking she has spin available right now, and we're going to see her pop it. So I want to wait till that spin's over. Now I still have knife. That's fine. If she wants to do this, she wants to push me back, I go backwards. I just let her push me back. It's fine because she's overcommitted right now. She's moving me backwards into my backline, which is great because she has no abilities after this, right? This is a kill opportunity on her right now because as soon as spin ends, she's dead, right? You just force her down and kill her right now unless somebody else saves her. So you don't read that, A. B, you waste the knife here, and then you also waste the axe because she pushes you backwards. So if you are going to try to land the axe here, you need to be pushing W into her, right? Forward into her to be able to make sure to maintain contact to land the axe. So right here, the Orisa has denied both your knife and your axe using her one spin ability on a 6-second cooldown. If I look at that, I do not see this Junker Queen as, oh, this Junker, like, let's play from the Orisa's perspective, okay? Shooting, right? Fortify ends, right? I just managed to knock you back, right? I managed to keep you out of the fight, and I managed to deny both your knife and your axe. If I'm playing the Orisa right now, I do not think, man, this Junker Queen's going to dominate this game. I think this Junker Queen doesn't know what she's doing, and I feel very comfortable winning this game. Like, I already feel the skill difference right now. Now, to be fair, I would not have used Fortify here. I think the Orisa made a mistake in that regard, but, like, again, this is low masters and people make mistakes. But I can feel the skill difference right now is it doesn't feel like you know what you're doing on Junker Queen. And when I say know what you're doing, I don't mean like you couldn't dominate a platinum game or a diamond game, right? I'm just saying that like compared to my level, right? If I think of GM level, as soon as this happened, I'd be like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. And I feel I'm gonna win this game, right? Because like this is a mistake. Now, granted, that's just the read from now. You could play a lot better from here. I don't know that you do, but you could play a lot better here. But like from this fight, I get a feel, and it's the same way like I play basketball a lot, right? So I play basketball, and let's say there's a random person comes on and wants to 1v1 me. I can tell within the first like 30 seconds if this person's better or worse than me, right? I can tell from the way they move, from the decisions they make, from their skill, right? Their technique, their shooting, like their touch, everything. Like you can tell so quickly how good somebody is. It's the exact same way in like competitive, multiplayer games, right? You can tell very quickly from little differences how good somebody is, and when you do this, I've already told you, like, it's already clear you are not that good, right? Certainly not good enough to carry this game, which is what you would expect if you did not belong in this rank, right? And you may think, oh, well, how do I win? Am I supposed to? Do I have to carry to win every game? No, you have to carry to win enough games to climb out. Because if you can't carry your games, then you belong in your rank. Right? That means you're just the same as everybody else. You're a 50-50 push either direction. All right, so we're going to go forward right now. I would note for a second that you're missing 200 health right now. You're at 321, right? Just chill for a second and get healing. Like, there's no need to try to force this fight right now, especially since the soldier could just blow you up at this one time. So soldier right-click does 195 damage, assuming nothing else hits you. So if she's at full charge here, which granted she's not, but you don't know that because you haven't seen her in a while, you could just basically instantly die right now between the soldier and any other chip damage that you take. So I think this is a mistake. I think just slow down. And this is also a really good example. If you landed your knife and you landed your axes, you would actually have way more health right now and be able to push, but right now you need to slow down. All right, you get javelined out. I would note that you miss this as again, right? So this is a relatively easy knife that you miss right here. And then you get blown up at 42 health. And this goes back to what I'm saying is you could have died here with just slightly better aim from them. And there's no need to be pushing so hard right then. All right, so I would not swing wide of the corner. I would stay close to the corner, right? Little details like this. Do I need to see 3 enemies at once? No, I don't have no advantage from seeing 3 enemies. They can all shoot me. But if I just play close to the corner, if I'm just fighting the Orisa anyway, stay tight to the corner. Little details like this separates you from better players. That's a terrible knife miss right there, right? This is not even close. I would also notice that you know Fortify is coming up, right? So just go knife somebody else. There's no reason to throw it at the Orisa. All right, so now the Orisa has no Fortify, but she probably has Spin. Yep. So now I want to pressure her, force out Spin, then you kill her after the Spin. Another really bad knife. I mean, right now you're what, 0 for 5 on the knives? Like this can't happen. I cannot imagine a fight where I go 0 for 5 and expect to win. You're going to win this fight anyway, but it's got nothing to do with you. I think your team just straight up carries you through this. Like you're doing basically nothing, right? Another axe. I think this is actually the first axe which is borderline okay. So trading axe for life grip is fine. Life grip's under is it called life grip? The pull, right? So life weaver pull is on a 20-second cooldown. Trading axe for that, that's fine, no problem. Like if I were to trade abilities that way, no issue whatsoever. My question is, would you even have hit her? I don't think so. I don't think you would have hit her. I think she was too far away for you to land that axe to begin with. So I think this is a bad axe overall. You go for the soldier, which is the right choice. Okay, great. All right, so you knife the Orisa. She's obviously going to die here, and then it's all just clean up. All right. So from here, universal rule of Colosseo: go up, take crosswalk. Okay, that is the way that you play this map. If you don't know that, then I would say that you don't actually know how to play tank. This is like one of the first things you learn about playing Colosseo as a tank is after you win the mid fight, you go up and you take crosswalk, and you're going to see the enemy Orisa do that to your team too. You playing on low ground is bad because you have no ability to stop their team from shooting you. This whole area is a giant U, and they can just look at your team and blow people up. And like, think about it. What happens if the soldier goes up here and kills your soldier, or Lifeweaver, or Kiriko? You'd probably be like, oh, what could I have done about that? But you could have done something about that. You could have pressured the crosswalk earlier to prevent her from getting any easy angles, okay? If you control crosswalk here, the soldier's not going to play over here because she can get isolated and killed. But if you just sit over here right now, you're letting the enemy team set up, which is, you know, the whole point of your job as tank is to prevent them from getting space. I would climb right now. No reason not to climb. I would climb. Every second that you are not applying pressure to the team is a second where they can kill your team. So it's funny because you actually decided to go for the Orisa right now. I would have gone for the soldier, right, just to pressure the soldier back, or just turn around and shot the people on high ground. But because like the Orisa's not going to die here no matter what. But if you want to retreat, fine. It's not the worst decision. I think this is okay. Like if you feel like you can't win this, then backing up is the right call. But soldier gets killed. So, I mean, a note here is, what does the shout really help you do? Well, you get away, but A, I don't think you need a shout to get away here. But B, like, now what's happening? So, let's think for a second. What value are you providing your team right now? The Orisa's just walking forwards, right? And she's going to go after your soldier here. And what are you doing about it? Nothing. Like, I'm shooting her, right? But does that matter? No, she's Orisa. She's fortified. Your shots do nothing. Like, she's at full health. Your shots do functionally nothing against this Orisa right now. So, you tell me which tank is providing more value, right? The Orisa or the Junker Queen situation? Obviously, the Orisa. Like, she's in your backline, forcing the soldier back. She can't shoot anybody, and she's going to help Javelin and get the kill, right? With plus the soldier. You are doing literally nothing right now. Like, the difference between you and an AFK Junker Queen is 0 at this moment in time. And you might think, oh, what was I supposed to do about it? Literally anything else, right? Anything that's not shooting the Orisa. So, for example, going after the soldier right away, right? That could have been something. Or saving shout, because when the Orisa pushes in, you shout right now, your soldier lives. Okay? Those are the things that you could be doing versus nothing and just watching the Orisa kill your soldier. If you're going to play Chunker Queen, you need to be looking for these opportunities because Orisa is going to out-brawl you. Right? Head to head, face to face, the Orisa is going to consistently get more value than you because that's the way she's designed. She's designed to beat other tanks who are trying to fight her straight up because she's unbelievably durable and she has multiple disables and damage mitigation techniques. So that can't be your strategy as Junker Queen, right? If your strategy is, oh, I'm just going to shoot the Orisa to death, you're going to lose every game that you play against her, against an equally skilled Orisa. It's just not going to work, right? The Orisa loves it when you're shooting her. That's fantastic. She just doesn't want you shooting her backline. You need to use your mobility and your knife pulls to get more value. And that's not what you're doing right now. Another axe swing that clearly is not going to land because her spin, in case you don't know, blocks axe. So note here, we've not seen her use spin. We've only seen her use fortify, right? Now she's going up, which means now she's just going to spin, and now she denies your axe again. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is, like, literally nothing. You're not applying any damage pressure. You're not forcing the enemy team to play differently at all. You're not threatening their lives. You're not forcing cooldowns other than spin, which is being traded for a longer cooldown ability. Like, this is no good. And because of this, your Life Weaver panics, right? Pops tree here. So now we need to try to make something of this. But, like, frankly, I don't think you're going to... Right now, you're down 2 players right now. You lost Soldier and you lost Kiriko. So this is a 3v5 situation. Even with Tree, there's nothing you can do here. Right? So there you could have axed if you wanted to, because she's not going to have spin after. But she might have javelined you. Alright, try to go for the Sojourn. You really should have killed her there. I mean, I would not try to stay alive, per se, but... If you get gripped out, you get gripped out, but... I think you're still going to die here. I think this is going to end up being a stagger. This is why I would have wanted to die at the tree. I think everything that happened here was a mistake, but it starts from you not creating any space. Right? Like, that has to be the lesson here, is like, you're just not doing your job as Junker Queen. So, for the record, you just saw your Life Weaver get javelined. Just pop Shout right now. Shout saves the Life Weaver. Right? Like, you just literally watched the Life Weaver die, and then you're taking cover right now, even though you have full health, as your Life Weaver is like 20, 25, 30 health out here getting killed. Like, what are you doing? This is what, it's like so funny. Like, you can't complain about teammates when you just let them die, like, just willy-nilly like this, right? Same thing for the Sojourn earlier, right? Like, what? We're doing nothing. This is nothing. We're doing literally nothing right now. We just pop shift, and your Life Weaver lives, and maybe you flip this. But at this moment in time, nothing happens. Alright, so now you're chilling here. So, good meat shots in there. You hit the Sojourn. So, I'd be careful. Yeah. So, reminder, Sojourn Railgun does 195 damage. So, Sojourn Disruptor Shot does like 210-ish over however many seconds, like 5 seconds-ish. So, like, if you're going to peak right now, you have to remember that you could just get blown up instantly, which means you might as well just sit it out and wait this out. And hope and pop Shout, right? But, like, that Sojourn Shot plus Widow is just kills you here. I think this is too dangerous to be playing up at that block, right? Yeah, now you guys get staggered. Alright. Finally go out. So, you knife the Orisa, but, again, she's fortified right now, versus you could have gone for the Widow, right? You could have hit the Widow with the knife, then pressured her, waited for the grapple, and then pulled her back. I think things here are okay, but honestly, this feels more like luck than anything. It definitely doesn't feel like you're thinking through how you want to take this fight. Like, you go forwards, and then you're like, I think you hit your axe, and then you're like, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this, and you back up. Maybe it's the Kitsune. I guess it's the Kitsune. I mean, I understand. I think this probably is the right call to back up here. But Suzu happens to go off, which is lucky. So, you go for the Widow, which is a good call. This Widow is like all aim, no brain this game. Yeah, she's like consistently doesn't have grapple. Alright, so you kill the Widow, great. Alright, you pressure the Kiriko, that's fine. So, funny little trick. I don't hold a knife here. So the reason being is this Kiriko is about to Swift Step anyway, right? There's no way that she can survive in the situation of my team walking into her, so I don't need to throw the knife. I do know that the Orisa is getting pulled to Life Weaver, which means I know Life Weaver is right above me. So, in this situation, I don't actually need to do very much here, other than step to the left briefly. I didn't even walk forwards. Shoot her, she Swift Steps, then I go to the right and finish the kills. But this is a good example of, like, that game sense that you have is just not on the next level, right? The next level understands I can predict the next 3 to 5 seconds of this fight and how it's going to play out. I already see this Kiriko, and I think she is not going to stay here. She has to Swift Step out. I don't even need to go up to her, right? Literally just poking her, and she's gone. And then from that, I can turn right away, and instead of being here, I will be here, and I'll be able to run back and chase her down a lot more easily. I don't know why you're walking to the left. This is a mistake. I think we'd shout. I think 100% I shout and chase him down. I think this is a huge mistake. There's literally no reason not to do this right now. Again, run back over here, shout, and chase it down. I want all 3 of them, right? Your whole team is here. Just shout right now. Just shout and go to the left. Oh man, this is a big throw. I think this is probably one of the biggest differences I've seen so far between most of the things I would say is like, oh, I can see the difference between like low masters and like low GM. This feels like the difference between masters and like low diamond, right? This is like not a 5 rank difference. This is like a 10 rank difference to not chase down and get the kill here. This is a very straightforward like Overwatch 201 level play to shout and kill everybody here. This is a big mistake. So now you're going to allow all three of them to escape, and now you have to deal with another 5-on-5 instead of dealing with a 5-on-2. Right? But like that's the difference is between you and a better player is like you're not seeing this. Like I don't know why you don't see at that moment in time that you could have killed all three of them. It's 2 supports and a tank. Your whole team is alive, right? Like you're so good in that situation. That's exactly what Drinker Queen is for, is using your speed to push down advantages. Right? It's hard for you to create advantages, but once you do have it, like you can kill people with it. It's a good pull. So you get super low here. So right here, when you hear, right now, I push shout right now. So the reason being is you can see Railgun Soldier, and you also know, right? You can see that she's full charged, and you know that Widow has popped ultimate. So the Soldier knows exactly who she's aiming at already. Here, right? She can see everyone through the wall. She's going straight for the Widow. Go over here, pop shout. It's not gonna make a difference though, because the Widow's too far away. But just noting here. But yeah, we killed the Soldier. Great. All right, we have to retreat here. So, think for a second. Do I want to be attacking the Orisa? I can hear that there's a Life Weaver behind me. Just go for the Life Weaver. You're like a little too slow to realize what's going on. If I see the Orisa coming in right now, I don't go for the Orisa. I'm like, what's behind you? Because the Orisa's not going to die. Like, you have to attack the Orisa less. She's not going to die in most situations. Yeah, now you finally go for the Life Weaver, but too late. So now Life Weaver easily escapes. This is not a good use of your time. There has to be somebody else. You even see the Widow when you swing. You saw her right there. Yeah, going for the Orisa's not gonna do anything. Go for the Widow. Go for the Widow, or go for what is this, Kiriko? Anybody that's not the Orisa. Like, does it feel like you're winning this fight? Like, let's back up for a second. Okay. From here, does it feel like you're doing anything? If I'm the enemy team, am I threatened by you right now? Are you scary to me? Are you forcing cooldowns? Are you forcing me to dodge? Are you forcing me to do anything that other than what I already want to do? No, right? Because like you're completely ineffective here. Even though you're standing in a tree and you're not going to die, but not dying is not giving you any value here. Like they're literally just circle strafing you, like killing everybody else in your team, pushing them back, moving the cart, and you're not doing anything because you're going for the wrong targets. I would also note here that if you're Winston completely changes the nature of this fight, right? Because as Winston, you're not going to miss. One of the things to think about is shotgun heroes are worse against smaller targets, right? The Tracers, the Widows, the Symmetras of the world, those are small targets. Kiriko, right? Those are really small targets. It's hard to hit them with a shotgun. But when you use somebody like Winston who cannot miss, they're great. And Winston is so good at killing these targets because they're generally very squishy to begin with and rely on their small hitboxes to stay alive. So Winston is really, really strong. And I'm saying you have to learn Winston. I'm just noting that it's going to make your life harder as Junker Queen because you're going to struggle with landing shots. Alright, you go after the Widow. Alright, axe, melee, great, reload. Unfortunate miss on the knife. Forget the cart. I would just kill there's still people alive above you, right? There's no point moving the cart right now. You need to kill the people above you. I would have gone stair and gone up. Like, literally anything. But they're going to drop into you for some reason. Alright. That's good. Saved by him. Shout. Yeah. I do not pop Rampage there. So, you're extremely low. You haven't seen Javelin. And you haven't seen Spin, right? She actually has Spun, but you didn't see it. So I don't think you would have known that she didn't have Spin. Both of those abilities would completely shut down your ultimate, right? She could just spin, prevent you from going anywhere with the Rampage. I think right here you're panicking because you're like, oh, we're low. But like, if you're going to lose, you're going to lose it, right? I don't think Rampage is going to change the nature of this fight at all. So either you're going to live or you're not, right? Rampage is not going to fix it at that situation, and there's too much risk, right? The risk versus reward for using your ultimate is bad. That's a completely wasted ultimate. So, you lost your Tracer here. Alright, so you got everybody. You lose your Tracer. As soon as I lose Tracer, I go back. We're not going to win this without the Tracer. It's fine. Just go back. Just literally turn around, shout, get everybody home. No reason to force this fight. It's only gonna get worse for you. Oh man. So because you're still here, Kitsune's pop, but this Kitsune's useless. This is something I talk about a lot in my videos, is don't make bad mistakes as a tank, because it often baits your team into making the mistakes even worse. Because they think, oh, my tank is going in, that must mean the fight is winnable. They pop ultimates to help you. But if you went in when the fight's not winnable, even with the support ultimate or DPS ultimate, it's still not winnable. Right? Like, what is happening right now with this Kitsune? Nothing. And yeah, it's a mistake by your Kiriko, but it's a mistake by you to keep fighting this. Like I said, the second the Tracer dies, right here, go home. Like, I go home right now, I shout and run backwards, there's no way my Kiriko pops Kitsune here. Right? But when you go forwards, look at it from the Kiriko's perspective, right? She's thinking, oh, my Junker Queen's in, right? Okay, maybe this is winnable, right? Because you could have gone backwards, you chose not to. And she's like, well, there's a straight line path, maybe I can pop Kitsune. She sees how low you are, she pops Kitsune, and now this Kitsune's wasted. So you managed to waste the support ultimate as a tank because of your own, like, bad decision making. And now nothing's gonna happen. Now you're down 2, so now it's a 3-on-5. I would just suicide and die. Yeah, there's like literally no reason to try to stay alive right now. Suiciding is not a bad thing when there's no way to win the fight, right? End the fight quickly, go next. Alright, so your D.Va play I think generally looks better. A quick note here though, before I say that. Let's think for a second. Who's winning this trade right now between you and the Orisa? At this range? You or the Orisa? The Orisa. Orisa does like 130 damage a second with no damage fall off. You're doing right now maybe 40, 50 damage a second. The Orisa's doing like triple damage to you. You don't want to be doing this. You want to get to this corner and then fight her if you want to. Like, I know she's low. Play this corner and fight her. Don't play this far away. This is way outside your effective range. You're not going to do anything from here. So Orisa's here, fine. She's fortified. You saw the Widow to the left. Go after the Widow. Go after the Widow. Go after the Widow. Every second that you let the Widow aim gives her a chance of getting a kill. Right? Go after the Widow right away. Just fly right at her. Widow does not even try to get away from this. She hears it coming to the left and literally doesn't even try. You're very lucky. The Widow can aim apparently because we can see her getting kills, but the Widow definitely has no game sense awareness. That's a little embarrassing. Alright. Kiriko here, also no awareness. Could easily have saved the Life Weaver here if she heals, but decides not to. Like, the other team is bad, right? To be clear, the other team is really bad. We've seen them consistently make, like, very dumb mistakes over and over and over again. You're just not playing well enough to capitalize on this. I would fly over there right away. Okay. So, I think you're trying to save the Kiriko here, but if you think that she's in danger, which she sort of is, I would note that your DM is nowhere close to being close enough. So, you are way too far away. It's just like, you need to know the range for this stuff, like, immediately. You cannot be DMing from this far away and thinking it's doing something, right? This is like, again, you're not experienced enough at the heroes that you play, right? I don't think your D.Va play is better than your Junker Queen play, but, like, the fact that you did this and thought that it reached is a problem. Like, it's 100% a problem doing things that you think are effective but are not, just because you don't understand the game well enough. Their Kiriko just literally, this is a good example of, like, the enemy team making mistakes, right? Like, the Kiriko swift steps on top of you. Right? And then now the whole team is like, they're going to stagger and die here because they're fools, right? They should just suicide and kill themselves. Kiriko gets away. But again, this could end up being a big stagger, right? Forget him. Yeah. Too far away to shoot. This is not a range where you're going to do any damage. Just fly at them if you're going to do this. So, on my next boost, right, I think walking up here to confirm the Tracer dies is good. Then after that, fly left, cut off their escape route, and kill them. But instead, you go to the right. Little details, right? Little details separate you from better tanks. But they happen all the time, right? We can't go 5 seconds without something going on where I'm like, oh yeah, definitely you should have made a significantly different play. The Widow can't even grapple! What the heck is this? Oh, she gets pulled and just walks off? Oh man, yeah, she messes up the grapple, then she gets gripped. Oh, she gets pulled off. Unfortunate. So, let's think for a second. Why am I going for the Orisa? The fortified Orisa who is functionally 1100 health right now. Why don't I go up here? Like, what is this? This is the problem, right? With target priority, you're constantly trying to kill the Orisa. If you want to play tank busters, just play like Maka or something like that, right? You're like so obsessed with trying to kill the tank over and over and over again, but you're not playing heroes that are well designed to do it, and you don't realize that. So you're almost out of DM, and like your cart is still pretty far away. I play this corner, not this corner now, because without DM you can get melted here. Like if I'm the soldier, I know you have no more DM at this point in time because I've seen it. I commit now and swing to the right and kill you. See, yeah. You're very lucky to not get DMEC there. Like it's so obvious to me that you're making a mistake staying. Like at this moment in time, I'm out of here. Like I go 100% go back to the other corner. But like you need to see that, right? And know like what's gonna happen next 3 seconds. They're gonna push the corner. I'm not gonna have DM. I'm gonna get DMAC'd, right? Like there's no reason to be fighting this at all. Like you can't win this fight. You're not gonna trade positively. You're getting absolutely steamrolled right now with damage. Very, very lucky. I think the soldier healing station is the difference between you living and dying here. That's how close this is. 80 seconds? Yeah, pretty close. All right, now you have an opportunity, right? Because now no fortify, no spin. Right? Yeah, keep controlling. I think this is fine. I don't go to the right. You can't go to the right here because you're going to get isolated. You can see that your team is now moving underneath. You can't play this far. You can't play this corner anymore. Play this corner. That makes all the difference in the world, understanding which corner you need to be holding right now. I wouldn't fly over the top. This is insane. So, charitably, you think, I'm going to use bomb here and I'm going to make a big play. At higher ranks, this is not consistent at all to expect that this is going to work. I do like the idea of trying to cut them off here. I think this was still an extremely dangerous play. But you do have bomb, so I will say 50-50 whether or not this could have been good or bad, right? I personally would not have done this because I think there's a very high chance you would have gotten DMEC'd even flying towards the room, right? 147 right there. Yeah. Kiriko once again just... I wish Kiriko's I played with were this aggressive about teleporting in, because Kiriko's I played with are way too passive. But this Kiriko's jumping into every single fight no matter what the deal is. But you managed to get kills out of this, right? So I mean, it ends up being 2 kills, right? It ends up being a big play. I just wouldn't have done it because the risk was so high that I would have gotten DMEC'd before even going to the room, or they would have found a way to mitigate it. Do not fly here. There's no reason to do this. This is unnecessary. Yeah, you can't. The thing is, like, you can't stop them anyway from this position. Like, I just play safe, right? Play D.Va, play like right here, play the crosswalk. I can't hit them from this range, right? I can't effectively hit them at this range. So just chill, just wait, right? If Tracer gets killed, she gets killed. There's nothing you can do about it, right? But when you go in here, your Tracer's like, oh, okay, D.Va's peeking, I'll peek too. And you get her killed. It's still her fault, to be clear. But you are baiting her into that situation because she's clearly fine just chilling back here, right? She's fine. She's just waiting. Right? She's not doing anything. She's not peeking. She's like, oh, you're in? I'm in too. Because she's trying to help you. Like, I get it. It's a bad decision, though. Neither one of you people should be fighting this fight right now. It is a terrible decision on both of your parts to be trying to fight this. And you've baited your teammate into a kill. And it's funny because you're like, oh, every game it feels like a DPS diff. I strongly believe, especially after watching this video, I strongly believe that you are the reason for this because of the plays that you make. You go into situations where you can live, but are ultimately still bad situations, and it baits your team into trying to help you and pulls them out of position. Because there was no reason for anybody peeking here with a Widow who's proven that she can hit shots. Now you baited the Soldier in, right? Because Soldier sees that you're in. So what does Soldier do? He peeks here, right? He's trying to help you right now, and he gets killed. Is it his fault? 100%. Is it also your fault? Definitely. So you've lost both of your DPS here, not because of, like, necessarily, like, they just chose to die on their own, but because they're trying to help you, and you're making big mistakes here. For the record, you're down 2 DPS at this moment in time, you leave, right? Correct way to play Colosseo, just leave this way and get out. Instead, you commit into going into the Soldier, which is nuts, right? No reason the Soldier would ever die in this situation. There's 2 supports. There are 4 enemies here. What the heck is your plan? Right? Like, this is just an easy DMAC in the situation, right? And now you die, and now you're staggered. Does this look like somebody who knows how to play the game at a high level? I don't think so, right? I don't think you could look at this game and be like, oh yeah, I deserve to be in a much higher rank when you can't even make like reasonably good plays against the current level of your competition. Okay? The higher up you go, the harder the games will be, the better players will be. Like, you won't have things where Kirikos will just be teleporting in front of you at half health. That is bonkers, right? Or Widows who just constantly never have grapple available and don't hear or see you coming despite being on their screen, boosting towards them. This is the kind of stuff, like, you're not going to get these advantages at all at higher ranks because they're not going to make those mistakes. But you're making really run-of-the-mill mistakes all the time, and it's killing you. Don't fight this fight. Just think for a second. How much damage does Soldier do? Soldier does like, what, 175-ish damage a second? How much damage do I do with this range? 15? Why are you fighting a fight where the Soldier does over 10x your damage? Like, just think, there's literally no reason to be shooting him right now. Either, if you want to advance, right? Otherwise, like, boost here, right? Or go this way, or whatever it ends up being. There is no reason right now to be shooting this Soldier. And now you've lost 125 health and used up half your DM for what? Right? Now you've lost 225 health. For what? What value did you get from that? Right? All I see here is a D.Va fighting a Soldier, trading away health for nothing. This Soldier has full health and you're missing 225. And some of that's armor. In fact, all of it's armor. So it's actually more than 225. It's like 270-ish, right? 270, 280. What value? What value did you generate from that? I mean, we're talking about ego, like, question, do you know how to do your job, right? Is part of your job losing a ton of health and doing no damage? Because that's just what happened, right? These little moments add up so fast all the time, right? Now you're missing almost, what, like 340-ish health? For what? What did you do? What did you accomplish? Did you create space? Did you distract the Soldier so your team could get a kill? No, like, your team wasn't ready to fight at all. Now you get Javelined here, you're super low. Very lucky to not get demeched right now. So I would never have done this. So if you were gonna fly up, you should have immediately cut in right away versus this float right here gets you killed. If Widow hits a shot here, you get demeched. I think this is super sloppy. Right? Which goes back to, I don't think that you can play D.Va at a GM level. I don't even think you can play D.Va at like a mid-masters level. Like, it doesn't feel that way. Even pre-season 9, this does not feel good enough. This feels like basically high diamond level D.Va gameplay, and for Junker Queen, I would say like mid-diamond, right? Ish. Mid to low diamond. I think it's going to depend on matchups too, right? I think that you still have experience to play consistently in all matchups, but like, overall, I think this is a problem. Right call here to DM just in case. Mage gets pulled. This is not going to do anything. So you activate missiles here. Orisa is fortified right now. So this Orisa has 1,300 plus health. Why are you shooting her with missiles? Do you think that this does something? In your head, do you think, oh wow, I'm going to hurt this Orisa significantly here? Because this Orisa is not being noticeably injured by your missiles, right? This is not a thing that's going to be like, oh yeah, the Orisa's killable right now. Just fly somewhere else and kill someone else. Right? Orisa pulls in, fine. Right away, fly over and go after the Widow, for example, who you've had a lot of success killing. Or shoot the Soldier. Or just fly out of the circle in general. There's no need to be doing this. So, you've lost 2. I would note that a big reason why you're losing 2 is because the Widow is getting free reign to shoot, right? Who is pressuring the Widow right now? Right? It's certainly not you. Right? So, but this is the difference, is you might think, okay, why is it my job to deal with the Widow? But tell me, what are you doing right now? Where is the value coming from the fact that you're, like, okay, let's take for a second. If we completely removed you from this fight, like literally you're just in the spawn, what difference would it have made here? Right? Is the Orisa doing anything differently from the fact that you're playing here? Are you saving anybody with DM? Are you pressuring people out of position? No, you're doing literally nothing right now as everyone else in your team dies. Which is why I said Winston gives such good baseline value. Like, if you just dive, like, for example, right here, you get pulled in, you dive right away, you pop bubble, and all 3-4 of these heroes need to play differently. Now, if you did a poor job, like, you might still die here, right? But like, you would do something. But right now as D.Va, you are doing nothing. Like, think about it. Like, you just land Winston. You jump here, land, put down bubbles, zap, 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 zap. I get all 4 of them. I force Life Weaver back. I force Pedal out of him. Suzu or Swift Step out of Kiriko. And I force Grapple out of Widow. And Soldier needs to run away. Now, this shouldn't be interpreted as, oh, I have to play Winston in order to win games. Because it's not. That's not what I mean. I'm just giving you an example of, like, a bronze level Winston could have just jumped, as soon as he got pulled in, jumped over here and gotten so much more value than you are getting right now, constantly attacking the Orisa. Right? Like, you're literally doing nothing right now. Right? Now your whole team is dead, so there's really nothing. You just get out. Yeah. So, I'm at 236 health. I do not want to take any fights. I'm not interested in stopping this card. Right? I know you're like, oh, I want to preserve the lead, but at 200 health, you're going to get instantly demacked. Like, the Soldier could literally put down Heal Station and just melee you to death if you held DM the whole time. There's no way that you can stop the Soldier. And now you get demacked. And now what? Now what's your plan? Nothing. Like, just give up the lead. You're gonna lose the lead, right? Losing the previous fight already cost you to lose the lead. Just try to reset, right? Or even fly off the map, reset, and then look to push back the entire way. Alright, we're good with the Widow, finally. Yeah, see? This is value here. What you did right here, this is value. Widow is low, grip is pulled, right? Widow's not shooting anybody anymore because you shot her, right? Now everyone's focusing you. Good. This is a good thing you did, right? Even Tree's forced right now, right? So much value was created here. The problem is, the timing here is all wrong because you're like dashing over here way too early. And now your team's not able to help. You're gonna like hope for a Dream Bomb here, which is not gonna do anything. I would have remac'd right away. But Soldier happens to be coming out of this right room. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the last fight is just, what the heck is going to happen there? Okay, so, summarizing. I would say, on Junker Queen, I think you really struggle in the Orisa matchup. I don't really think that you feel comfortable playing against that. I don't think you're tracking her abilities at all. I don't think you're hitting knives consistently. I don't think you're pressuring the backline. On D.Va, I think it's better. I think you get a considerable amount of value for DM at times. I think you generally know what to do. I think you're much better at applying pressure to the backline, but still way too much time spent shooting the Orisa over and over and over and over again, right? I think you're also overall baiting your team into bad situations because you're taking bad fights like 4v5s, 3v5s that you don't need to be taking, and then they pop ultimates to try to help you, and it makes things worse. Okay, I'm going to hold there. I'll link my usual resources. Hopefully it's helpful.